embarrassed to ask you for anything more.
Encourage him to continue.
Do not fear. You have my full attention.
Suzanne, my beloved wife. I cannot bring myself to accept her death. Despite all the evidence, I still hope to see her alive again. I need to be sure. Mon Dieu. What have I done to deserve such a fate? Why has the king sworn to destroy me? And all that I hold dear. After everything I've done for him. My abnegation.
His facial models are a little weird. Sometimes I seem like they compress a little bit. You need to get some books for it. You have 48 and need 2 more, so you can have a nice round number. So you said Fragged Empire is set in like a far, far future and all the humans are dead. So what kind of factions are there? His selflessness.
Why would the king owe you anything?
I dedicated my life to the kingdom as his minister. Well, my life and my fortune as well. I refuse to accept any remuneration for my services in order to keep the accounts balanced. And I personally filled the king's coffers with 2.5 million livres from my own private accounts, bonds in the Caisse d'Escompte, which the king keeps in a tailor-made armoire d'affaires in the Palais des Tuileries. He stores all his secrets there. I'd wager there's enough in there to sully his reputation 100 times over. You must retrieve these bonds post-haste, madame. They must not be used to allow this madman to build more murderous automats.
Do I have any chance of opening it?
Don't even think about it, madame. Despite your incredible strength, that safe is said to be impenetrable. It was designed precisely to that effect. I personally never had access to it. I suppose that its contents were too unofficial for the honest minister that I always was.
Who has the key?
The king does, that's for sure.
Anyone else?
How could I know? His shadow advisors, most likely. Now that I think about it, there's a rumor that has been going round Versailles for a while now. It's said that Monsieur de Mirabeau used to come and go as he pleased at the Tuileries, that he oversaw diplomatic missions for the crown. Not in any official capacity, of course. Who knows? He might know more about this matter than I do.
I will ask him. Why would the king owe you anything?
I dedicated my life to the kingdom as his minister. Well, my life and my fortune as well. I refuse to accept any remuneration for my services, and I personally filled bonds in the case.
Okay, that's what we've
seen.
seen.
They must not.
Do I have any chance of...
It was
Who has
the kingdom?
Anyone else?
How good? Now that there's a rumor that it not. No.
I will
Skip the
ask him.
entire... Okay.
I will look into what happened to your wife.
Bless you, madame.
Where should I start my investigation?
In the Faubourg Saint-Germain, east of Les Invalides, we were separated in the Église Sainte-Marie on Rue de Bourgogne.
I shall be off.
You are the only hope of seeing my beloved wife again, and of foiling the plans of the clockwork tyrant.
There are no major factions. It's set immediately after an apocalyptic war. Oh, so you play the very species that were engineered to fight the war. By the time the game takes place, you're picking up the pieces. Interesting. Okay. All right. The rules of our order forbid us from taking part in secular affairs. It is through prayer and prayer alone we shall save the souls of those whom the Lord, in his holy grace, decide to call back unto him. I trust you with the reliquary of our brotherhood and pray that you, as well as those who seek shelter by your side, in refractory of our convent, will keep it safe from the destruction that will befall us. May God keep and protect you. My dear husband, I agreed. As I agreed, I received Monsieur Mercer, director of Botanical Garden, this morning when he got off the boat. I found him to be in a very poor state for his long voyage. However, he made a point of visiting the plantation before giving me his enlightened opinion. He deemed the soil to be excellent and recommended the nurseries be built to grow some 500 young clove trees. Harvesting ladders should be built as well as drying sheds and storerooms. Please tell me as soon as possible, my dear, if you agree on these arrangements. I long for you and hope with all my soul to see you again. Okay.
Monsieur le Marquis.
Imagine Fallout, but it's just various kinds of super mutants. It's 1,000 years in the future instead of the 1950s. Huh, interesting.
Goodbye, Monsieur le Marquis.
Huh, that's cool.
Aegis, A word, s'il vous plaît.
Well, everybody wants to talk. All right.
Monsieur Raymond.
Aegis, we are very pleased to see you again. It was very unwise of us to leave the Société without such a capable bodyguard as yourself. It is a miracle that we got here safely.
What's bothering you?
What do you want to talk to me about?
Have you ever heard of the Club de Massiac, Aegis?
No, monsieur.
It's an association that meets at the Hotel de Massiac, just west of Les Halles. It counts some of the wealthiest plantation owners in the Empire. Those from Saint-Domingue and the Petite Santé, our most formidable adversaries. They are waging a war of influence to keep the slave trade going, and resort to the vilest methods to achieve their ends. They worship nothing but money, and their greed is matched only by their cruelty. Regrettably, my interests occasionally require me to suffer their company. 2 months ago, I was in Le Havre to settle some business with the Admiralty, when I overheard a conversation between 2 planters from Bastère. If they are to be believed, the Club de Massiac is plotting to create sleepless slaves, des esclaves sans sommeil. Those were their exact words. It's hard to say what this could possibly mean, but I fear they plan to administer some foul drug to their slaves to force them to toil day and night, without rest. Our organization will not let these poor souls endure such a hell. Aegis, we must look into this. It is a matter of great urgency.
You speak of greed, Monsieur Raymond. But could you enlighten us as to what makes you any different from the planters you condemn?
What exactly do you accuse me of, Monsieur de Robespierre? S'il vous plaît, do tell.
Do you not also exploit the labor of these poor souls yourself on your indigo plantation?
I fight every minute of every day to improve their condition. No one would have the audacity to deny this.
If that's the case, then why wait? Free them. You preach abolition, yet you continue to line your pockets at their expense. The truth is, you refuse to upend the established colonial order because your entire fortune depends on it.
It's easy to criticize from atop Mount Olympus, Maximilian. You know nothing of the realities of Saint-Domingue. What would happen to all these people if I freed them tomorrow? Without an education, without a livelihood, I would be condemning them to the most abject misery. No. I must act with both compassion and realism.
Any reform, revolutionary or not, must be taken step by step, with moderation and prudence.
This reform is not so difficult. I've begun it myself at La Belle Gabrielle, my plantation in Guyane. There you will not find slaves, but workers who earn a weekly wage. And my plantation is no less profitable.
Ah, yes, profit. Because that's the most important thing. Don't you see, the law of nature gives every man the right to cultivate his own land.
Monsieur, calm yourselves. I implore you. Now is no time to quarrel. What Monsieur Raymond has related to us is extremely worrying. We must find out more about this plot to create sleepless slaves as quickly as possible. Aegis, you are the only one who stands a chance of making it to the Hôtel de Massiac alive.
Interesting. Interesting exchange. There was some, like, very quick thing they glossed over. I guess it was him. I guess it was the guy in blue. He went, tried to convince them to use machines to work on the plantations. They didn't really say why that was refused, other than he couldn't actually see anybody important. All right, God willing. This letter will reach you before the States General. We encourage you to rage whilst at for sales, and not really to stick to agricultural issues. We must argue that we have no deputies, and that whatever the white representatives demand should not be law for us. Stand strong. Fight the company they have for us. We also recommend you speak to Monsieur Necker. His charitable works exude humanity, and hint that he's a man who is open to be pressed. All right. I feel like we have a lot of quests now. Journal, side... Oh, so many side quests. One main quest. I still need to find Bailey, and I can't remember where the heck he was. I want to say he was here. Got a new area. I want to say he was here. But then it says he's here. So I don't know what to trust. I don't think he's in this building, though. See? Oh, there's so many letters. What use are wit, finesse, and audacity and tenacity if they're not employed in favor of the common good? People should not forget a year ago, Monsieur Necker signed a pact of organized famine by announcing in the summer of 1788 the threat of a shortage to come. He deliberately stoked high the cost of bread, then using this inflation as a pretext, established a public monopoly depriving beggars of their freedom to procure their supplies as they see fit. This, dear readers, is how our philanthropist has monopolized all the grain in the kingdom to allow his accomplices to benefit from speculation. His friends, ministers, lords, heads of judiciary, and clever scoundrels were involved in this plot. Together, these brigands built a profitable business on the misfortunes of the kingdom. Nothing really changes, does it? The support of all the servants and whores of the court. My pen is free, citizens, and will relentlessly pursue Monsieur Necker as long as he remains at the helm of the kingdom's affairs. Reveal his crimes until, unable to escape the righteous anger of the people, the starver seeks to save himself by taking flight. Nothing ever changes. Alright, so I need to find Bailey. Where is Bailey? There's Bailey.
Monsieur Bailly.
Mademoiselle, I am very pleased to find you here with us within the shelter of these walls.
Talk about the notes.
I found a document written in a script that I was unable to read.
Let me see. Je vois. These pages were written using some sort of shorthand. A variation on Taylor's system, no doubt. I'm wont to use it myself from time to time while jotting down my ideas as they come.
What does it say?
It's a bit difficult to decipher. Je crois. I believe it's an autopsy report. The author writes that the subject died from a large dose of prussic acid.
What is prussic acid?
My apologies, Aegis, but I'm no chemist. You should ask Monsieur Lavoisier.
Goodbye, Monsieur Bailly.
All right. Where is Lafayette? Necker? Marabou? There we go.
Monsieur Lavoisier.
What can I do for you, Aegis?
Prussic acid.
What is prussic acid?
It's a volatile compound extracted from Prussian blue, which is a pigment derived from the cochineal, an insect.
What does it do?
Oh, it's a lethal poison, of the most dangerous sort. Though at weaker doses, it merely induces a deep soporific state, or a coma, if you will.
A deadly poison.
Aegis? Is everything all right?
How do you intend to counter the king's actions?
Unfortunately, we don't have the upper hand. For now, we can only hope to protect ourselves from him. I am convinced that something is afoot. Something that could destroy all our hopes in an instant.
You have my full attention.
You should know that I am a gunpowder commissioner. As such, I oversee the provision of gunpowder to the kingdom's arsenals, l'Arsenal de Paris in particular. For the past 2 days, a large quantity of gunpowder from Marsangy has been sitting near Les Invalides. It's in a warehouse by the factories. But the men I sent to take possession of the cargo and transport it to the Arsenal have gone missing. Do you realize what this means?
The gunpowder could have fallen into our enemy's hands.
It's possible. One thing is certain. It's enough to destroy half of Paris. Whether it is still in the warehouse or has fallen into the wrong hands, we must find it urgently. Then, if possible, we must neutralize it.
How?
Simply by placing it in contact with water. Nothing could be easier in theory, but we must find a way to flood it.
Flood the gunpowder? You're out of your mind, Lavoisier. We're in the most desperate of situations and you want to deprive us of such a valuable resource. What will our cannons use once we have formed our army of patriots?
Your army, Marquis, is presently but a figment of your imagination.
I see. So you're one of those men who would sound the retreat before the battle has even begun.
I will go to the warehouse. Once I have located the powder, I will decide what to do with it. Goodbye, Monsieur Lavoisier.
Stock stuff. Okay. I think all these guys have side quests, or is it just...
Eh bien. Do you come bearing news from Monsieur Marat?
No, not yet.
I have it on good authority that he is in the quarries in Montmartre. He's the only person who could show you a way to reach the Bastille. Don't forget.
Goodbye, Monsieur de Robespierre.
Okay. I gotta go back to the Queen. Luckily, her carriage has a revolutionary means of communication. Oh, it's got a cell phone in there. Interesting. Okay. All right. Let's go. Get out of here. It's a walkie-talkie. Let's go back to the carriage. Should be down here, I think. Yeah. Need to use my anima while I'm thinking of it. Oh, so that is +5. May go for more vigor here. I can't tell. These things get bigger as we use them. If they, you need to pay attention to when they start hitting diminishing returns. They're expensive. What exactly is impact and balance? Good question. I think. Let's see. 1 sec. Might be the codex somewhere. Or the guide. Let's see. I assume balance is the more balance you have, maybe it's the less likely you're going to get knocked over. If I had to guess. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if they told you at the beginning or not. I would say I'm going to guess that balance is less likely to get you get knocked over. And impact, I feel like there's a chance to knock them over. And immobilization is building that stun meter. I'm going to guess. I'm going to go by the icons. Go by the icons. Yeah, because I thought it told you somewhere, but not. You went with bodyguard? Yeah, the bodyguard uses like the heavy weapons, doesn't it? I'm trying to think. I don't think... Yeah, it's funny. I don't think it ever said. Oh, it has the shield too. Yeah, the shield is cool. It seems like it's really good at absorbing damage. Stuff that can do shields. All right, Her Majesty to the Queen, Madame. I've enclosed a transcript of the Dr. Eliminator's autopsy report. It will enlighten us as to the circumstances of your eldest son's death, as well as the culpability of your husband. All right. Apparently, I can use it to send letters. Okay. Side quests. I have to wait for the Queen's instructions. Let's go back to the boss. And hope the loot is still there. Travel.
They fled in that direction. I should be able to find a way in. I have already passed by the Église Sainte-Marie. I can get back there quickly from here.
Yeah, I wish this was opened up. God. We've not staggered a single guy. Huh. You'd think the bigger weapons would have higher... whatever it is. Higher impact. So you use power instead of agility for your main stat, for your damage stat. Checked over here, right? Okay. Okay, so here's the boss. The loot's still there, it looks like it. Reinforced armor module, a key, and a ingot. Okay. Modules, reinforced armor. That sounds like it could be rank 2. Moderately increases armor. Doubles the amount of immobilization damage Aegis can inflict on enemies. Ooh, that sounds nice too. Alright, next time we're back at our carriage. You turn yourself into a tank. Longevity for the win. Most of your points in armor and you realize power was damage increase. At least in these type of games, you can farm up more points if you need to. But I guess once you've got everything balanced, you'll be super beefy. Okay, so no chest, but we got the stuff, so that's good. All right, let me bring out the compass. Riders are right ahead. Okay. Let's find the riders. What do we got? Huge balance, flame resistance, no endurance, less armor. Just something fun for sure. Your husband was watching you play. I was like, "What's wrong with you?" The shield, shield bash, shield bash, shield bash. They're all dead. Hey, if it works, it works. I feel like these type of games, anything you can do to survive, you gotta do it. Fits your playstyle. Roll with it. In Elden Ring, I ended up with some weird combination of a katana and a shield for most of the game. Which was kind of weird, but got the job done. Your Majesty, as evident, I have lost your confidence, and as my official dismissal is long in coming, I beg of you to relieve me of my duties of my ministry. I sincerely hope that my successor will provide your subject with wealth, and that you'll be fruit of the dutiful service. I remain your Majesty's your humble service, and humble and devoted servant. Okay. I think let's turn one of the... We have 9 keys, wow. I think let's make another one of these into a level 2. Do we want... Don't know what it is about these games. And like... in managing your stuff is like a challenge in itself. There's all this extra space here. Give me like a grid or something. I don't know. I guess you can see her gears or something. I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's saying these are the module slots. Fair enough. Fair enough. So I am using long infusion. I am using longevity, frost catalyst, and a stable essence. What are my grade 2s? I may swap out armor for health. Where's my longevity module? Unequip. Need that to be level 2 though, don't I? Let's just get everything to level 2. And reinforced armor. So I'm at 180 now. Wow, that's plus 100 armor.